You're on, Claudia.
Okay. Well, good morning. Happy Moon Day. Happy new moon. Yes, at 4:30 a.m. this morning, Pacific Daylight Time, we had a new beginning in the sign of Gemini. Chatty, social, brilliant Gemini. Yes, and the energy shifted from the last cycle of earthy Taurus to the mental realm of Gemini. And communication is the name of the game. So as always, there is a lot going on this week. And Mercury continues, just to remind you, in retrograde motion until the end of the week. And that's important because that's the ruler of this cycle. So check in. If you're here, let me know in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, please let me know. If you're watching it on Claudia Thompson, Moon Powered Astrologer on YouTube, then please subscribe and let me know you're here. Let me know where you hail from and how you're feeling today. Yeah. Let's begin as we always do with the heart drop. With all this mental energy, never more important, right? So let's put our feet on the floor. Or if you're able to sit in a 7-pointed lotus position, that's a good thing to do. Put your palms up in your lap, ready to receive the energy of this moment. And as you inhale, notice where the breath is. Just allow the breath to come and go for the next few seconds. Where is the breath? Is it up in your chest? Is your belly moving? On the next inhalation, welcome the breath to fully fill your body. Welcome it into every cell of your body. This breath that contains pure life force from source. As you exhale, feel your shoulders lower. Feel the chair you're sitting on support you. Feel your feet. On the next breath, breathe in earth energy. That grounding, ever-sustaining earth energy below your feet. About 3.5 feet below the earth is your earth star, your electromagnetic connection to the earth grid. So bring the breath up from there, all the way up, 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 quickening, filling every cell, up to the top of your crown. And above the crown, about 18 inches above your crown, is white light. And on the exhalation, it pours down through your crown, filling your body. Reminding you that you are a light being. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And on the next inhalation, feel that breath fully enlivening those trillions of cells. And as you exhale and the light pours down from your crown, feel it wrap around your mind and bring that mental energy down behind your facial mask, down through your throat and neck, through your chest, coming to rest in your heart. And that energy now is filled with the self-loving radiance of rose gold light. And it moves out from your heart to fill every cell of your body, from head to toe, from side to side, from front to back, all the way down your arms to your fingertips. And now feel that breath move out through your skin, filling the field around you, filling you with the radiance of the self-love that you are, surrounding you with love and heart energy. And when you feel present and centered in your heart, open your eyes and come back to be with me. Yeah, so we had a new moon at 9 degrees of Gemini. Hi, Debbie from Smyrna Beach. Oh my gosh, I used to live in Jacksonville, so I know where Smyrna Beach is. Yeah, I remember the humidity there. And so, as I mentioned, communication is the name of the game. Variety is the spice of life. That's one of the mantras for Gemini. And you see, I have my variegated, my necklace that has a lot of different colors, and that is emblematic of the variety that Gemini so enjoys. And this is yellow green. I don't know if it looks that way on your screen, but yellow green is one of the colors for the Gemini moon. So, you might, if you're working with your altar today as you craft your intentions, and how perfect, what divine synchronicity to have a holiday on the day of the new moon, giving you time to take a breath, set your intentions. Energy follows intention, and your intentions were never more powerful. So the seeds that took root last month now branch as you meet new people and you learn new things. So reconnect with old friends and contacts and put some social events on your agenda to expand your network of support. Networking is one of Gemini's strengths. Ask yourself what you could learn that would expand your possibilities and further the new life that's being birthed. We're coming up to the solstice on the 20th of June, and that is the full moon in the natural year, full moon point where we birth something out of the last 6 months. So we're building up to that. And things could feel frenetic or confusing, especially with Mercury continuing in retrograde motion until Friday. So be sure to include journaling in your list of intentions. As I mentioned, all forms of communication fall under the sign of Gemini. So writing is one of them. It'll help you if you journal. It'll help you use this push-pull energy positively and keep you on track. And I'm going to be talking about where some of this push-pull energy is coming from this week and ongoingly, if that's a word, yes. So Gemini's mentally oriented, multitasking energy, but the danger is the loss of the power of the present moment due to a lack of focus and thoroughness. Breathing and journaling are your keys to staying grounded and positive, and combining your head with your heart is the key to successful communication. So it's really good with all this crazy energy going on to just drop into your heart when you're communicating with someone. And the downside, we have all the outer planets at the time of this new moon were in aspect to Mercury, because Mercury's at 26 degrees of Taurus, and Uranus is in an aspect to this new moon, which is at 9 degrees and 3 minutes of Gemini, and Uranus is at 10 degrees right now. So this is higher mind and lower mind, and Gemini is a sign of duality, and it has to do with mental energy, mentally oriented energy, and communication. And so as we look at it this way, if you look at higher mind, the higher use of your mind, it really has to do with self-talk. This is your opportunity to really look as we continue in the 6-month effect imprint of that lunar eclipse. It really asks us to look at our self-talk. Is our self-talk loving? It's said that we think about 60% of what we think about today is what we thought about yesterday. So how can you introduce a new way of thinking into your self-dialogue? How can it be more self-loving, more present, more uplifting? As you've heard me say before, is it uplifting or is it upsetting? As Gemini rules the media, this is a really good question to ask yourself. So the lower use is gossip, negative self-talk, not being focused, scattered energies, multitasking to the point where nothing gets done thoroughly, not having your priorities straight, just kind of being all over the place. And Mercury is an aspect to Neptune, and it's retrograde, so that can add to the confusion. But the higher side is that loving self-talk, remembering that thoughts are things and that your consciousness creates, and really having the discipline to master your mind, to have your mind be a good servant, and you and your, divine core being the master. So Uranus, in aspect to this, Uranus is higher mind, the higher aspect of Mercury. And so it is reminding us at this time of our galactic origins, of that which is beyond time and space. And it also reminds us, especially during this retrograde, that those big ahas and insights can come through, and that it's a great time to be writing them down. New ideas are flourishing. And I don't know if you felt the shift yesterday. Mars and Jupiter united in Aries, and that brought more self-confidence, more determination to this new moon. It's quite a beautiful gift from the heavens that underscores this new moon. It's a great time for affirmations, all forms of communication. When you're in the mirror in the morning, don't miss that opportunity. Again, Neptune rules mirrors, so that aspect encourages you to look in the mirror and love yourself. Tell yourself, I love you just the way you are. You are magnificent. Hello. Yeah, just hello. I remember years ago, my mother had been a friend of hers who had been watching over her, and she was in Florida and I was in LA, and I didn't realize this was going on. And the friend was taking care of her, and the friend decided to go on vacation. My mother had had a hip replacement, and she decided to put her in a nursing home instead of calling me and telling me. She called me once she was on the road, and I got on the next plane to Florida. And when I walked in, it was a bad nursing facility. It wasn't a good nursing facility. And so I took her to dinner, packed up everything and took her to dinner and took her home. And I pulled out Louise Hay's Book of Affirmations. And at that point, my mother had a death rattle, as it's called. This being put in this nursing home. She was a psychologist. She was a very bright woman. This was not the place for her. It was not the time. And so as I put her to bed, I handed her a mirror. And I gave her an affirmation to say, "Hi, Lisa, hello." And in the morning, the death rattle was gone. Her attitude had shifted. Affirmations are so powerful. You need feelization. You need to walk as if. You need other things as well. But affirmations are a great way to shift any negative mind talk into a positive vein. And, a good affirmation for this particular cycle is around the breath. I breathe fully, I think positive thoughts, and all I need flows to me easily and effortlessly. So I'm going to repeat that. And the reason the breath is so important in Gemini is because this cycle has to do with the lungs, the nervous system, the shoulders and arms. So it's really good to remember those body parts and to remember to breathe with this nervous system emphasis this particular cycle. So I breathe fully, I think positive thoughts, and all I need flows to me easily and effortlessly. And we're gonna go through the week, but then we're gonna come back and do new moon intentions. And you can't see it, but I have incense going over there and some beautiful angels with taper candles lit. And I've called in my angels, my guides, my guardians, my higher self, so that we're all set up in this moon-powered temple for some new moon work a little later in the show. So I hope that you have a pen and paper handy to do some work with me so that we can really move into this new moon energy while it's still fresh and harness that energy with the power of our intentions. So, of course, I have notes for you, lots of notes. So, as we look at this new moon, what struck me was it's at 9 degrees. I thought, how perfect, because this is the month, even though it's we're coming into the 6th month of the year. This new moon at 9 degrees. 9 is its endings. There were the 9 months before we birth something. And during this Gemini cycle, when the sun moves into Cancer on the 20th, we will have that solstice. So we're in the gibbous phase of the year, polishing our progress regarding our plans and strategy, our vision, our dream, that big dream that we were asked to hold and have faith, take a quantum leap of faith around, our ideas, bold and daring ideas, the way we brought them down to earth and got clear on our values and the resources we needed to put all of that into motion. And now we come to the connections, the communication, the networking we need to put it all into action. In the gibbous phase, as I said, is where you polish your progress. I call it the pressure cooker phase. That's what it feels like every month, every cycle as it builds up to the full moon. And it's no less true right now at this time of year as we build to the solstice. And it's we enter this time of year where we have retrogrades, coming into play one by one. Mercury will move direct. However, Pluto's already retrograde, and Saturn is going to join Pluto on the 4th of June. So from there, as we move over the summer, we have various planets moving in retrograde motion. We'll even have Mars moving in retrograde motion as the fall approaches this year. And Mars will effectively be in retrograde motion in Gemini for 7 months from shadow beginning to shadow end. So the shadow will end in 2023. So that's really interesting because, Mars is go juice. Wherever Mars goes, energy flows. So we'll be looking at how we use our energy and what are the new ways that we can use Mars energy for positive, to be a warrior for love, to be a warrior for the utopian vision that Aquarius is asking us to hold. So let me see what I've got here. So focus and flow. This is why it's so important to spend some time today thinking about your intentions, getting your ducks in a row, getting your thoughts in a row. What are the ideas that are viable in the long term? So that's a good rule of thumb. What are the ideas that will work over the long term? Because in the Aries cycle, lots of ideas came forth. With Mercury retrograde, lots of ideas are coming forth. But now in the Taurus cycle, you looked at what was going to be required. And as Saturn moves retrograde, you're really going to be looking at that. So what are you doing in the long term to, with these ideas? Are they viable in the long term? Do you need to spread them out? It's really good to calendar these things, especially when the energy's in Gemini and it can get a bit scattered. So Mercury, as I mentioned, is aspected by every outer planet at the time of this new moon. That's Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. And so this means that a lot of information is going to be pouring into the collective. Gemini reminds you to control your own narrative. Gemini rules the media. And so we're going to see an enormous amount of information from all sides, but you get to control your narrative. I know there's one channel that I listen to that it's inspiring at times, but it also goes into sometimes the sky is falling kind of stuff, and navigating fearful thoughts, looking at where they come from. It oftentimes is due to lack of connection. When we move into our hearts, when they're in the present moment, and we connect with the spirit that we are, with the source that's the true nature of our being, the fear moves away. False expectations appearing real. Right there, the description tells you that most of the time you're not in the moment when you're experiencing fear, unless you have a fight-flight experience that's real, which of course you have to address. But Pluto aspecting this is the power brokers seeking to control. And I say that because with Saturn moving in retrograde motion, Pluto has to do with power, and Saturn has to do with authority. And we are retooling, reinventing, reclaiming the energy from top down, from a top down power structure, and how much we allow that in our own lives. And Saturn, which is authority and control. And we're being told we have to be the authorities in our own lives. We have to be the adult. We have to be responsible, able to respond. And so with Neptune, it aspecting Neptune, this is delusions and illusions and confusion, as if we don't, as if we don't need more. We don't need more of that with Mercury retrograde. And yet with all of this information pouring in, you need to really look at what's true. Listen to your body, how your body reacts. There are many things right now in the news that are pulling at our heartstrings. And so it doesn't mean not to have compassion, but what's the narrative of your day? What's going on in your world? You have the right to live there. This idea, we've all been asked to be Atlas by the media. Put the world on your shoulders. And that zaps your energy so that you cannot build the world that you want. These situations that happen show us the world we want to live in, where everyone cares for everyone else, where the early warning signs of things going wrong are seen, where we don't have some of this weaponry available, words, thoughts, actions, and literal weapons, and where this need for control, in my world, it ceases to exist, this need for others to control me or my narrative. And you can live in that world right now. And it's interesting because in the wake of this lunar eclipse, we get to see what comes up around that. Do we feel guilt? Do we feel shame? Do we feel like we're burying our head in the sand? Or are we literally lifting our frequency to such a vibration that we are at the level of solution? We are at the level of reevaluation and reinvention, and continually reconnecting with the divine energy that is the truth of us. So higher mind, with Uranus aspecting this new moon, we may have some more shocks going on. We may even have the Earth moving. Till Uranus is going to be in Taurus till 2026. And so this could engender some movement of the Earth, and it's certainly drawing our attention to the power of grounding in nature. Mercury's in Taurus right now, and it reminds us that when your feet touch the earth, when you put your hands in the dirt to garden, when you touch a tree or you enjoy a flower, you are grounding that nervous system. You're taking some of the overload off it. Stocks, currencies, cyber attacks, these are all things that are going to be themes. Especially, we may see some cyber attacks while we've got this Gemini energy going on. But, it's not a place to focus. Don't pull it into your life. You're magnetic. The moon is magnetic. You are, 70 to 80% water. So you're magnetic too. So your emotions attract. They're magnetic. So that's why I say control your narrative. Be very, very judicious around your mind. And Gemini reminds us that enlightenment is lightening up. So allow yourself to be lighter on the planet. There's so much to be serious about right now. And Mars conjunct Gemini yesterday. They were at 3 degrees. Now Mars has moved, so it's 3 degrees and 4 degrees. 3 degrees for Jupiter, 4 degrees from Mars. But that's a conjunction, that's conjoined. And so that tells us to focus your energy and be determined around your intentions, and you will achieve. So you might want to look back to June of 2010, January of 2011. Jupiter's a really easy to plot cycle. It's every 12 years. So look at what was expanding in your life then, because now we have echoes of that going on. It's kind of like a trip back to energize that. And I look back, that was a very productive time for me, even though I was in deep grief over the loss of my moonmate, my husband. I wrote a book. I channeled the energy. So channel that fire. Look at what you're a warrior for. What are your values? What is your vision? What's your plan? What's your dream? All of that, all this work you've done over the past 5 months gives you your guideline for where your focus is now and what you might need to let go of, what you might need to retool. These last few days of this retrograde can help you think that over and look at who you might want to reconnect with regarding these ideas that have come forth, that are viable, that will work in the long term. So, this is a bigger vision. This bigger vision is supported. That's what this Jupiter-Mars conjunction is telling you. And new ideas, self-confidence. You're going to have the self-confidence to act on those ideas. This is this gift from the universe. Here you go. Self-confidence. Yeah. And it's really good to shore up the self-confidence, the affirmations, the good, masterful mind talk, self-talk, the heart drop, so that when Saturn moves in retrograde motion, your self-confidence isn't eroded. And yeah, so I'm going to move on to the week, a bit about the week, and then we will do some new moon intention setting, okay? So let me know if you're out there. Let me know how you're feeling today. Did you feel the energy lift up yesterday? Tomorrow, practical and idealistic scenarios blend. So that's lovely. And the energy brings a lofty, progressive vision into reality while encouraging us to let compassion be our guide in all our decisions. So remember that. Drop into the heart, meld the mind and the heart, and allow compassion to guide your decisions. And on Wednesday, the lunar mood shifts because at 10:49 p.m. on Tuesday, the moon moves into its home sign of Cancer. So that's 10:49 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So Wednesday, when you wake up, the moon will be in Cancer, maternal energy. It's oriented to emotional security, and it's emotional energy period, but it reminds you to trust your gut. So it moves from the head energy of Gemini to the gut. And oftentimes we will have this knowingness. Have you ever had the experience where you just know something? You just get it on a gut level, and then you allow your mind to talk you out of it, to rationalize your knowingness away. Well, when the moon's in Cancer, you have an opportunity to revisit your gut and your gut knowingness and how well you listen to your intuition. On Thursday, don't get bogged down in the past. That's one thing about Cancerian energy. The Cancer moon can move you into the energy of the past. But Cancer also reminds you to pay attention to your gut physically and your stomach and how you're eating and digesting life. Are you an emotional eater? Or do you sit, maybe drink a glass of water when you're feeling an urge to grab those Cheez-Its or popcorn or whatever it is, and just see what it is you truly want, what you're hungry for. So on Thursday, you want to be extra patient with detours and delays because Mercury is going to be slowing down as it stations ready to move in direct motion. So it's almost like that retrograde energy hovers in place. And in Taurus, Mercury is, it's almost like having dirt thrown on the speediness of your mind when Mercury's in Taurus. So, allow that day, allow yourself to be patient, to have a sense of humor, to ground in the earth, and, to know that on Friday at 1 a.m. in the morning, Pacific Daylight Time, Mercury turns direct at 26 degrees of Taurus, and it will be in shadow period until the 18th of June. So if you are doing something that directly relates to that, contracts, etc., you might want to wait till it gets a little direct speed going on with itself. And of course, you can always do a snapshot session with me if you just need some timing on something. I'm going to be posting those sessions pretty soon. A lunar discovery session where you learn about the what the moon means for you and the sun and how it's the doorway to your inner and outer universe, and also snapshot sessions. I'll be offering those, and these will be 20 to 25 minute audios that you'll receive. The snapshot session is the urgency of now. It's like when you need timing or insights for something that's immediate. So those are going to be added to what I offer very soon, within this next week to 2 weeks. So remember the challenge and insights of the past 3 weeks when you get to Mercury moving direct. Remember what came up. Remember, it might have been challenging in this post-eclipse Mercury retrograde world. So remember what those challenges were and the insights that they gave you and the awarenesses so that you can move forward on them now. You also might find that Friday brings a little defensiveness. And if that happens, if there is what I call a bully aspect. So if you find that you run into your own mental mind talk around bullying, or you run into that, oh, thank you, Lisa, and you run into someone or in a conversation like that, forgiveness. Remember that word, forgiveness. Now, that's a big one as we move forward over the next 6 months regarding the lunar eclipse in Scorpio anyway. Surrender and forgiveness. Surrendering the energy so that you can use it for something else, and forgiving everything and everyone. It's all part of our journey, right? It all guides us to become who we are. Adds to our soul growth. So at 11:38 a.m. on Friday, not only has Mercury moved direct, but the moon moves into Leo, from Cancer into Leo. So that's a shift in mood. Leo, heart-centered Leo, rules the upper back and spine. And again, it reminds you to breathe, because if you're feeling tight in that area, or your shoulders are up in your ears like earrings, yeah. And as you inhale, you can feel your upper back and spine expand. And when you drop into your heart and you breathe in and out of your heart, you can also feel the upper back and spine expand. So Leo moon kind of can renew your self-confidence, and it can help you avoid heavy moods. So, and the day may bring some heavy moods, Friday. It's interesting because I always say the universe moves forward like a locomotive, not a rocket. So remember that as Mercury moves forward, because the universe wants us to live deliberately. It wants us to have opportunities to not just be in go, go, go mode till we burn out, but ebb and flow, where we review, we reconnect, we reevaluate. That's a big word when Mercury is in Taurus. Reevaluate the way we communicate, the way we think, how our thoughts are creating our world. And by the way, Gemini is mutable energy. So we've moved from the fixed, enduring over time energy of Taurus into the mutable energy of Gemini, which tells us mutable means changeable. Change is a sure thing during this cycle. Be an agent of positive change in your life. That's the door that's opening for you now. I find new moons really exciting, and I sure felt the shift, between yesterday and today. Waking up in this new moon energy, so beautiful. So Friday evening, if you have felt that the day brought some heaviness or some contentious conversations or encounters, in the evening, optimism prevails. So that's lovely to end the week with. And on Saturday, Saturn moves in retrograde motion, and that's going to be true until October 23rd. So Saturn, it's going to be illuminating. Saturn is the sober realist of the zodiac, and it's in Aquarius. which is, it's been an interesting time because Saturn rules both Capricorn and Aquarius. So every 28 years, it moves through these two signs for 5 years. So in 2017, it moved into Capricorn, really the sober realist, and then into Aquarius. It is the energy of the builder. The challenge is the need to control. It can be the control freak of the zodiac. So it's loosening the reins around exactly how things have to come into being. And it really is doing a reality check regarding our utopian vision for humanity. How are we building that? Well, Gemini tells us we're building it with each thought, with each encounter, with each connection, with every word and thought backed up by action. So as Saturn is in retrograde motion, look back to January and February, the plan and the strategy, your personal plan and strategy, and then the vision that took it broader. And commit to the discipline, the devotion, the dedication, the determination. These are some of those D words that go with the Capricorn energy. To put these underneath your plan and vision. Look at where it needs tweaking. In the gibbous phase of every cycle and in the gibbous phase of the year, we withdraw the energy that is not aligned with the intention that we want to have manifest or birth in the case of the solstice at the time of the solstice, that full moon point of the year. So your vision determines your decisions. So going forward, you want to tweak that vision if you need to. Look at what's realistic. Saturn's all about realism. It teaches us lessons. It's the Lord of Karma. It is not a fun guy in the zodiac. As a matter of fact, Liz Green wrote a book years ago calling Saturn that old devil. So Saturn is where we feel the limitations of being in a human body and the limitations in our lives wherever Saturn is in your chart. It's at 25 degrees, 25, 26 degrees. And so as it moves in retrograde motion, it'll move all the way back to 18 degrees of Aquarius. So humanity, we're going to be looking at whether humanity has learned the lessons. So is there a positive side to Saturn? Because Saturn has to do with work. Wants us to work for it. Yeah, Saturn holds out a promise. It says, I'll pay you back for hard work. So have a blueprint. You know, it's interesting. I was thinking about the control aspects of Saturn, and I was thinking of contractors and of builders, building a wonderful building, let's say an apartment building, something that had several stories. If the foundation isn't solid, if we don't build it step by step so that it is able to go for the long haul, then it's going to create real problems. So when we control our desire to just be out there, not focused, and we apply discipline, when we apply control in a positive manner, then we build something that is strong, that harms none. So Saturn teaches us lessons along the way, and you're going to be reviewing what has gone on since Saturn entered Aquarius 2020. So especially if you have fixed energy, you're going to be feeling this. And wherever this is in your chart, that's the particular area that it's going to be going back over to see, did you learn what you needed to learn? Are you ready to apply yourself to long-term goals, to take each careful, planned, well-executed step up the mountain so that you can have that view at the top that you desire? And so Saturn's going to be in Aquarius till 2023. This is going to be a time of testing. It's going to test us collectively big time because Saturn has to do with authority. So we may see things around censorship. And again, controlling your own narrative, reading a book as opposed to an electronic feed, finding alternative ways of communicating and of getting the things that you need to know. Also, Aquarius rules community. So getting your information from community as opposed to allowing yourself to just be on the World Wide Web being bombarded by the main news stations, which have a definite, people are invested definitely in their narrative, and they will seek to control yours. So that's one of the biggest freedoms you have, to control your own narrative. And we live in a country where we're still able to do that. So that's no small thing. So have we learned the lessons about humanity that Saturn has been teaching us? That's going to be the big question. And it gives you an opportunity to go, as I said, to go back over your plan, to build it solid. You know, as you're looking at the ideas that work, the ones that don't, who do you need to connect with? What's the tribe you want to align with? That's one of the things that Aquarius energy asks. Like-minded groups and organizations, friends, community. Who do you want to connect with? And it's really a good thing to do when Mercury's retrograde is to, and this new moon, who do I want to reconnect with? Who do I want to connect with? Who do I want to network with? And allowing that which is not aligned with the long-term vision that you have to be released from your life. Not easy, but very important, because we are in a time of reclaiming the energy that has been invested in unworthy emotions, projects, constructs, so that we can utilize that energy for transformation of our own lives, the way we think, the way we raise our frequency every day in our lives, and the ways that we communicate from the heart and listen from the heart. There's that phrase, listen and learn. And oftentimes, sometimes even listening to ourselves, we learn a lot, right? Yeah. And then sometimes, just looking at what you need to learn. What is part of your plan that requires you to learn something? I know for me, it has to do always with technology. And so I want to connect with the people who can help me with that, who can help make my vision real. So it's more and more about making your plan, your vision, your dream, your ideas real. Saturn is the reality meister of the zodiac. And it can be very sober. But if you stay in your heart and open your heart to yourself as well as others, that'll go a long, long way to help you navigate this. So let's set some intentions. Yeah. So I have my journal right here. And I have my wish from that lunar eclipse, that powerful, powerful full moon. So that can guide you as far as what you might want to incorporate. You might want to, into one of your intentions. And so four intentions at the most is what I tell people. Health, always number one. Relationships, business and or finances. And then home and family might be another. That fourth one can be home and family. It can be, what you're going to do to rejuvenate, regenerate your life, etc. But those first three, health, relationships, and, and then the business, family, home, those are 3 or 4. So I'm going to ask you to pick one. Do one. And then over the rest of this day, craft the rest of your intentions. So you might want to do a brain dump. Around your health. Let's take health first, because that can be a fairly easy one. To live fully, you need to breathe fully. This is one of the big reminders of Gemini. Gemini rules the inhalation, and Sagittarius, which is where the full moon is going to be in 2 weeks, rules the exhalation. So you need both, right? You can exist without water and food for a while, but not without air. Very fundamental, very powerful. And when you breathe fully, you can actually manifest health, bring your health into a new stasis. It can bring your body into alignment with the proper weight for you. It goes a long way toward making your metabolism work the way it needs to. And so it's really good to notice when you're listening to someone or you're communicating, are you breathing fully? Again, dropping into your heart and breathing in and out of your heart as you speak to someone, and really listening to them, facing them fully, breathing, and allowing them, really taking in. If you're in your heart, you're present, so you can take in what they're saying and then respond. Also, with Mercury retrograde in Taurus and then moving back through those 4 degrees of Taurus as it moves forward, it's about speaking your truth, being honest. So honest communication is a really good intention. But my intention is going to be to do the 8 fundamental breaths of mental physics. There are 8 fundamental regenerating breaths. And it's also known that 33 conscious breaths a day will change your life. So it could be that you want to begin a yoga class or rededicate yourself to your yoga regimen. Something that gets you to mindfully breathe. Swimming, great thing for this time of year. But 33 conscious breaths to just sit and breathe from the soles of your feet all the way up and out 33 times. That can be an intention. So I want you to get a concise intention written down. Oh, is it ho-ho? I hope I'm saying that right, or Jojo? I don't know if the J is pronounced, but oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And a Facebook user. Another Aquarian. I'm an Aquarian. My sun, Mercury, and Venus were in Aquarius when I was born. So building her blueprint to create good communication. Wonderful. Good morning, Elisha. Hello. Lots of love to all of you. And Maura, hello. You're so welcome. So now, as I mentioned, you can do a brain dump. The health makes it pretty simple, but like around relationships, whatever it is, it's like, what's the communication that you need to build those relationships? What's the networking? Gemini, master networker. So, but let's just start with health. And it's always, I happily and thankfully create. I happily and thankfully, and whatever it is. So write that down. And I'm going to join you right here. So I'm committing to a breath regimen of the 8 fundamental breaths in my case. You could commit to 33, yoga, whatever that is, whatever you can do for your nervous system, your shoulders, your arms, your lungs, anything around this particular, it might even be just watching, just really watching your breath, being aware of it, whatever it is. And now we're going to put our feet on the floor. You've got your intention, I happily and thankfully, and then your intention. And now we're going to begin to allow the breath to come and go. Become aware of where it is in your body. Gently close your eyes. Feel your feet. Feel that wonderful grounding earth energy come up through your body on the next breath. Knowing that you were sustained and supported in every aspect of your life. Breathe in. Exhale through your mouth, breathe out. Make sure your belly's moving all the way up. Filling your body on the exhalation with light that moves any negativity, any blockages right out of your cells, right out of your existence. Breathe in. Breathe out. Drop into your heart. On the next exhalation. And now bring your intention forward into your mind and get a really good, clear picture of it. What are you doing? Where are you? Colors, sounds. Might be the sound of your breath. If it's a yoga class, picture yourself in that yoga class, teaching it or taking it. I used to lie on my back in the pool in the morning and do my 33 conscious breaths. Allowing yourself to breathe when you feel nervous, when you feel your nervous system jacked up. Breathing so you can focus, whatever it might be. Picture what that looks like. And now you feel that breath breathing in and out of your heart. And you step into that picture. And you feel what it feels like to have that intention manifest right now. All the benefit your body and life will receive from that healthy intention. I'm feeling myself breathing and getting slimmer, stronger, happier, living more fully. And the breath comes and goes as you feel. Every emotion becomes a positive feeling of joy, of achievement, of accomplishment, of self-confidence and love, whatever it might be. Feel that fully. And now on the next breath, that energy, that feeling ramps up and it moves through your skin and fills the whole field around you. And so you are feeling the frequency of that intention manifested inside and out. You might see yourself moving differently in the world, communicating differently as you breathe. Hang with that for a minute. By now you probably got an inner, if not an outer smile going on. And when you feel complete, open your eyes and come back to be with me. And, you're going to set an intention around communication and relationships. That's another one. Do the feelization process. You will realize what you feelize because facts don't create, feelings create. So remember that. And once you do your feelization and just really allow yourself the deliciousness to spend some time in the process, make your notes around any messages that might come through or insights that you might have had or visuals you want to remember. And then every morning, say it out loud, say your intention out loud, breathe, drop, and feel that feeling. If you can hold that feeling for 17 seconds, it is said that you have put it into manifestation. And then you want to do gratitude. Gratitude is the fertile soil in which all your intentions flourish. So as we move on into the week, we will move into the crescent phase. And the crescent phase will occur on between Wednesday and Thursday, depending on where you are. And the crescent phase is the phase where we sometimes run into a struggle to move away from the inertia of the past, but it's the time to put our resources together, get ready to move forward on those new moon intentions if we haven't already moved forward on them. It's a holiday, so you might end up taking action, getting everything in order, your ducks in a row to move forward on your intentions in a couple of days, because we've already got a day out of time, so to speak, today. And I just want to look at when. Yes, the crescent phase. We move into the crescent phase on the 3rd. Mercury moves direct, and we move into the crescent phase. So we mobilize our resources to move in a forward direction. During this new moon phase, moon rise is at sunrise, moon set is at sunset, with the timing moving forward about 50 minutes each of the 3.5 days the phase is in effect. And then in the crescent phase, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. with the moon moving forward. And it begins to grow, and we see that silvery, crescent moon, usually the second day of the new moon phase. So I want to remind you that I am offering a master class on June 4th, Saturday morning from 10 to 12, when Mercury moves direct. And you will learn how to harness the power and energy of the universe to create the life you want and discover the real secret to the right timing for everything, and how to follow the phases of the cycle and of the cycles of the moon to create a life of vibrant health, fulfilling relationships, and success in business and stellar beauty. I'll be telling you all of that, and then there will be time for Q&A afterwards. It's about making those big dreams real and getting ourselves off to a wonderful start as we get ready for a fabulous summer. Yeah, so I hope you'll join me. The link, I believe, is in the chat. You can also message me at Moon Powered Astrology on Facebook, or email me at moonpoweredliving@gmail.com if you want, if you don't see the link there. But please register. I need at least 12 people to make this class happen. So if you know someone who would be interested in this, please pass it along. And if you're not seeing the link, please message me. I'll be glad to send it to you. And I'm so looking forward to doing this class and rocking the rhythms of the moon, even more so with you. I wish you a wonderful, wonderful week as always. Happy new moon. Really wonderful new moon for communicating, getting in touch with people, and building the support system of connection and communication under your big dreams and visions, so that we can step into that world, that new earth, with an equal playing field for all of humanity, from a loving heart that we all envision. You are the light of the world. Enjoy shining that light. I love you so much. I love you to the moon and way beyond.